the next company is actually from China too. It's from Shanghai, Mask Network. I think this is a company that Hashkey introduced to me. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah,
If,
Suji and Maskbook. Yeah, Mask is one of our portfolio companies.
right,
Suji is my favorite entrepreneur.
right. So let me just finish by thanking Kevin and you for speaking today. But maybe I can also impose upon you, DC, to introduce Mass Network and Suji as the next presenter.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So DC, can you introduce Suji right now?
Hi, Suji. Actually, we're both in Shanghai. Suji, I think it's better for yourself to introduce. I know Suji for about 2 years. That's when he entered into the blockchain space. He's very creative and energetic and knows the space very well. And very importantly, is well connected in both traditional business and in the crypto space in mainland China and outside of China, in the US and Europe. Before that, I know he's in journalism. And also he has one of the very essential quality to be a successful entrepreneur. That is, he dropped out from university, right?
yeah, I dropped out.
So I will stop here, and Suji, you continue with like more backgrounds about yourself.
Yeah, Suji, I met Suji in Shanghai a few months ago, and I was very impressed with what he was doing. It's very hard for me to describe exactly the technologies because it seems so far-reaching and unusual. But I guess the way that he described it to me, which I could understand, was it's a bridge between Web 2.0 and 3.0 in a way that you have to see the demo to understand. But Suji, why don't you take it from here?
Thanks, Howard, and thanks, DC. Yeah. I'd love to spend like probably 1 minute to just add more pieces of my self-introduction. I did have experience in journalism. I spent some time in the Caixin Group and the Q Daily for writing about open source software, the free and open source software movement, and a lot of the new technology, including the nuclear, the open web, and the blockchain. Around 2017 is the hype of the ICO bubble. And that's the great time for the Ethereum people, and they start to know people in the Sim Foundation and the Bitcoin Core. And that time, my initial thought is, okay, that's the so-called Web3 or decentralized web ideology is so cool, right? It's so visionary. But how can we onboard more users to that? And is that possible? We can use the visionary decentralized web or Web3 technology right on top of the current ecosystem, right on top of the current web, like the thing we use every day, Twitter or Facebook. So I will start from there to introduce the Mass Network. Shall we start? Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sure. You guys see my screen, right?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah. Okay, sure. So today's topic is like change the web, and then a lot of DeFi things happening in social finance, right? So what is the internet today? What's happening on the internet today is like from the political or philosophical perspective, we build it as a free playground, and it used to be a free playground. It's not, but it's not a free playground right now, right? It's more like a lot of walled garden companies control whatever you do and know better than you think. And you're free of migration, which means you can move from one platform to another platform. It's completely loose in these like great all these great innovation of these platforms, and they add more work guidance to in their territory. And your autonomy, the user autonomy of whether money, data, and identity is also lost, right? Well, I think the gain is probably a little bit efficiency, and it's hard to say whether they gain more or lose more. And we also know from the great hack from the Cambridge Analytica scandal of the Facebook, and Zuckerberg himself admit that he didn't read the term of service. So we basically signed a contract. Billions of people sign a contract without really knowing what's happening, right? And give out our digital autonomy to either or nation state, depends on your jurisdiction, or a multi-nation company. But there's, if there's a threat, there's like, a fight, there's revolution, right? So there's definitely a lot of people trying to solve the problem, even from the very early days of the internet, very early days of the web. And from the last 5 years, besides the Bitcoin, there's a lot of people trying to do things differently. I'll give 2 examples, and I'll tell why these examples fail, right? One example is the Telegram, invented and still running by the Durov brothers. They're a famous Russian entrepreneur, and they are billionaire, but they're using their own money to just maintain the running of the Telegram. There's another similar case, Signal, funded in the United States and backed by the WhatsApp founder. So, in my opinion, that's basically the new harmony in the 21st cyber era. The new harmony is founded by Robert Owen. He was a successful entrepreneur successful man in the 19th century America, and he moved to Indiana, bought a large land, say, hey, everyone, welcome to my land. We were going to build a new world called New Harmony, and in this New Harmony, you can do whatever you want. There's no rigged system. There's no forced labor. There's no problem in this New Harmony society, and obviously it failed. That's the early days before any democratic socialism experiments. It's a really large fail, actually. And to be honest, today, you can't take your friends and data on existing platform like Facebook with you to the new platform. And Telegram is just a new harmony in the cyberspace, right? They're using their own money to try to just provide a utopia. That's not going to work. And another term is the Tor network, or people usually use the deep web or dark web. It's a truly secure service, and even got the funding from the U.S. government-related agency, but it's too geeky and condemned by mainstream media. People would just ask, hey, why do you need go to the deep web and dark web to do something you want? Whether it's for your privacy or financial autonomy. I think it's really hard to get to the adoption of the mainstream. So here comes the mass network. We had the idea around late 2017 and start to implement that around the 2018. What if you can stay on top of the Twitter or Facebook, or let's say any platform you're using right now on a daily basis? Well, what if you can stay on this platform while simultaneously you have all these great, amazing features from the decentralized and future of the Web3, including your data, your identity, and financial autonomy? So I'll give a few examples, and then I'll show you demo and why it is important. And it's like one of the big things missed out in the industry. So one example is, we all know that Twitter and Facebook is not really encrypted, right? It's not really privacy, and they're stealing your data. So what if you can learn from the old-fashioned PGP and say, hey, let's stay on top of Twitter and Facebook, but somehow I can send you an encrypted message, maybe to DC, to Nick, or to or the attendant here, and only you guys can decrypt, not really Facebook, Twitter, or these large corporation, or the the sneaky agency behind that. That's the first functionality we deliver, right? And that's not really that hard. We completely give out the server infrastructure. We completely use a decentralized graphic database to achieve that. That's around 2018. And then in 2019, 2020, that's a really bull market, but we learned a lot from the industry. And anything is information, right? So if you can send an encrypted message to a certain friend on top of Twitter or Facebook without letting them know what's happening, why can't you send over some digital dollar in the cryptocurrency form, right? For example, MakerDAO. So here is example, we can send over decentralized red packet right on top of the Twitter, right on top of the and even Instagram, like Facebook, even WeChat, and then no one knows what's happening, right? It's only you and your friend receive some red packet. And since it's purely decentralized, the current banking law or the KYC law is really not really applied here, because it's just sending to your friend, but it's somehow integrated with the centralized platform. Usually people have to do a lot of KYC. It's super hard to do cross-border payment. And we rolled out this functionality in the last Lunar New Year, which is around January, February, before the COVID hit us. And we got large support from the industry, from Ethereum Foundation people and OGs like Vitalik Buterin, from one of the most famous decentralized stablecoin, the largest stablecoin, MakerDAO. They also support us for this cool DAI wrap packet. It's the first time you can send decentralized dollar right on top of a centralized platform. That's amazing because we don't ask Twitter for permission. We don't really ask Maker for permission. We just ask for like their kind of endorsement, right? We don't need to ask Vitalik for using Ethereum. So all these things become permissionless, but somehow on our permission system, really cool. And that functionality alone, before the DeFi high, was one of the largest growth for the MakerDAO on a single day. Basically, we increased around 8% or even more holder of the DAI stablecoin token in the community, because it's so easy to distribute, send to a friend, tell them, hey, check out Twitter and install this small thing, and then you have some DAI, right? You send some like easy crypto. Right now, we have some problem with the gas fee as any other Ethereum layer 1 project, but that time is really great. And then, okay, if you can send over money, you should be able to do something else, like vice versa, raise money, right? So what if we can raise money from Twitter, which is something maybe not that so, when you first done that, it's like, okay. But when you really think deeply, it's really something very important. The old-fashioned way of raising money on Twitter or on social network, as if you're a KOL or if you represent for a minority group, like Black Lives Matters or Asian group in America, usually it's harder, right? You have to post either your 501c proof to prove you are a public charity to let them donate. Or if you're a KOL, you just want to help, you can just use your QR code of Venmo, of PayPal, right? The case is, if I post that QR code on Twitter and then get retweeted for 1,000 times and everyone send me $3, I don't think, I don't think first PayPal will keep my account live. Personally, my account was banned by PayPal for some strange reasons. Say, hey, you're raising too much money from your friends. Maybe you're doing OTC or you're doing all these strange business. And we kind of brainstormed this idea, and we didn't expect that it'll go live so soon. So during the COVID-19, around February to the June, July, there's two major use cases used by this fundraising tool. Partner with Gitcoin, which is a consensus company. They're also the core company helping the CRM ecosystem fundraising. One thing we helped together is we did a mask and test kit manual aid fund. We raised money in the cryptocurrency community and then donate to the Red Cross across the world and buy mask and test kit if possible in Asia country and then deliver that for where it's needed. It's a lot of money raised, and here I think 20K around that amount of money is all in decentralized manner. And another movement we largely helped, and I think we're still able to help is during the so during the Black Lives Matter BLM movement in the last year, there's a lot of problem for the local community to raise money as well, right? Even though they're doing it in a peaceful way. So the Decrypt cover us with a great report, say the Crypto for Black initiative is actually using the Gitcoin tool on mask on Twitter for fundraising. That's something we did at the next phase. And then the next thing will be, hey, what if you can invest on your social platform, right? So we all know the Wall Street Bets story, like the GameStop story. Hey, people want to invest, right? Even though the professional investors think they're not really smart enough, but they do have the right to decide where to put their money. And we certainly agree that some kind of regulation is needed, but I just want to buy some maybe Ethereum or some Uni, some token or maybe some stock right on top of Twitter. And when I see someone shouting about that or talking about that, it's my own right to buy that as asset. So we had another great partnership with another super great team in the industry, the Uniswap team. So last year around July, we start to reach out, and around September, we delivered this thing. It's really cool. I'm going to show you guys maybe a real video or real use case, and I guess it's super easy to understand. So for example, if I'm familiar with the token name, maybe Uni, it's the famous Uniswap token. I just want to search the name, and maybe I'm just gonna or hover my key here. Let me have a video. 1 second. That's easier. Yeah. So here you are. You just hover your mouse on any token name and just say, hey, I want to buy some pickle or like some other token. I think it's kind of interesting. And then you're going to just swap on top of Twitter. And then, it's like magic. You have the token in your hands. There's no like go to the Uniswap and learn from Ethereum technology, know that. And it's all on the Twitter. And we even can buy stock, synthetic stock, without really have a traditional finance KYC way. We have great partnership with the the Mirror Tesla, which is just the mirror asset synthetic on chain for the Tesla stock. So here I can just hover my key, say, hey, Mirror Tesla, no, on the swap, I want to use my Ethereum or whatever to swap. I don't have it right now, and say, hey, I just want to select token and then do the swap. It would just magically appear in my wallet. And that's so amazing that we got all the endorsement from the Uni founder, Uni team, the CMC, which we have the price feed from. And
hey, Suji, we're unfortunately running out of time here. Maybe
yeah,
you can wrap it
sure.
up.
I'm gonna just stop the pitch very soon. So the key is, in my opinion, we had an unlimited imagination on the current web. But we kind of need a middleman or middleware to say, hey, what if all these Web3 features can deliver on the Web2? The key of Mass Network and our company or my personal entrepreneurship is try to bring these things happen. We're not really saying we're going to build a DEX or we're going to build an asset class. We just try to say, hey, you should have freedom on the current web as a way you want to use it. And unfortunately, we see the Libra and the Blue Sky of, Libra of Facebook and Blue Sky of Twitter is trying to catch up in a very, very slow way and very, very centralized way. And here's why we kind of need the Mass Network or the other similar middleware to achieve a Web3 experience right on top of the Web2 without really asking people to migrate. So that's finished on my story. Yeah.
Terrific. Thanks so much, Suji. I'm still, each time I listen to you make that presentation, I'm amazed. So thank you for that.